really excited for y'all to join me for this episode. I'm talking about my happy place and where my happy place is might actually surprise you. Sometimes when we can't create our happy place, we have to embody it. So I want to talk to you about how I have started to embody mine. And sometimes even as we ground ourselves, we physically have to be in spaces and environments and find those places that give us inspiration, that give us and unlock that sense of creativity, and also help us to question. Maybe it's time to rethink some of the habits that we've developed and change them and iterate them as new opportunities arise. Excited to have you join me for the episode. Let's go ahead and dive in. Let me tell you about what happens for me when things get hard, when I'm so very uncomfortable, or when I'm even struggling to see the other side and seeing things turn out the way that I envision them. I make this little promise to myself. When this is over, when I'm done, when I'm ready to throw in the towel, I will leave everything behind and I will go and work at Trader Joe's. I kid you not. I say this over and over again. And now I have not yet quit and decided to go take up my dream job of working at Trader Joe's, wearing the fly t-shirts and the chucks with my denim and ringing the little bell at the cashier station. But I will say that my thought pattern around having my plan B is something that I really want to dive into this episode with you all. So grab your bottle of $2 chuck or $3, $4, wherever it is. We're in the middle of inflation, so I have no idea how much the cheap wine costs anymore, but grab it anyway. And your favorite Trader Joe's snack, and let's go and dive in. So Trader Joe's is truly my happy place. And maybe it's really just a symbol for an environment that makes me feel calm, that makes me feel loved, that makes me feel like it's a safe space for me to explore all of my curiosity without any of the pressure of having to build something or to be great or to perform. I get to just go and be my full self around sliced mangoes and what is that, like apple tart situation that you can like pop into the oven really quick? Like, it's so incredible. Anyway, I'm gushing over Trader Joe's, but I'm sure you're wondering why, like of all the jobs in the world, I would say that working at Trader Joe's would be my dream job. The experience is so different. It is the sense of care that everyone feels when coming in. The idea that you can find something and discover something new. I think it helps my brain to relax. It's small. I can do all my grocery shopping in 20 minutes or less. There's this idea of minimalism. There's not a ton of like advertising or coupons or things to scan. It's just go in, discover, explore, enjoy, and host your dinner parties or what have you. And even when I think about like college and I think about all the friends that used to sit in my apartment with me in Harlem on 141st Street and Broadway, and we didn't have any money. We had no money. We had these extremely expensive rents to pay, and we were all trying to build something from the ground up. We would always go to Trader Joe's because it was cheap. We could feed a lot of people off of $10. We go, we get this bottle of like vodka sauce and the Alfredo noodles and some kind of like side salad, a $2 chuck, and some kind of ice cream. And we would share it amongst like 6 of us in my apartment where I had absolutely no furniture. And we would talk about our dreams and our goals and our plans. And there's a sense of comfort that comes with starting from the bare minimum and continuing to dream that really associates me with that Trader Joe's memory. So maybe Trader Joe's isn't necessarily your happy place, although I don't understand how that could be the case because who doesn't love Trader Joe's? But I'm sure that you have one. I bet you've had a time or two where the solution to your problems may have been a job at a place, like maybe Disney World is your happy place. Maybe it's Target because most of us spend most of our paychecks there anyway. Or maybe you are generally happy in environments where you get to be creative, you get to be explorative, you get to be imaginative. We know that deep down, working at our happy place doesn't necessarily solve all of our problems. But it's this thought that how do we create those spaces and environments where we can feel free and cared for and our ideas matter? So it's totally normal of feelings of walking away, especially when things get hard, when we're not sure if we're doing things right. And starting over in a place that seems easier, that puts us at ease, I think is a friendly reminder that we have to turn some of that into fuel and into this notion that maybe something's not working in the business because I need to change my perspective. Maybe I need to go into the snack aisle and grab those like amazing apricot like fruit snacks and just chew on that for a second and rethink some of the problems that I'm approaching day to day in business. It's also an opportunity to lean into gratitude. I'm grateful that I have a career. I'm grateful I have a car. I'm grateful that I have my health. I'm grateful that I have the capacity in this business that I've built that allows me to wander through the aisles of Trader Joe's. What I have today makes my happy place possible. And I acknowledge that this might be kind of a mirage. I'm sure that working at Trader Joe's is a very different experience if you've actually been an employee there. And maybe I wouldn't be spending my shift trying all the new snack flavors that came out. I probably would not be employed there very long. But I like to think about this space and environment where I get to be mentally, emotionally, physically, all of those things completely free of any responsibilities and heavy decision making, even if it is only for 20 minutes at a time. So I implore you all to find what that happy place looks like. Bring as many aspects of your happy place into your life as possible. When I think about how the casual vibe of Trader Joe's, it doesn't feel stuffy. It doesn't feel like I have to be this health nut to go there. I don't even have to be a good chef because everything, you literally just go to the frozen food section and all of a sudden you're like Martha Stewart because you're like, all I got to do is unpack a box, stick it in the oven, display it on a pretty plate, and then like, I got something, right? But think about the surrounding. Think about the way that applies in whatever problem it is that you're trying to solve. Maybe it is you have to strip everything down to its core tenets and go back and revisit your vision. Maybe it's going back to that bowl of noodles covered in vodka sauce, the $2 chuck, the simplicity of a conversation with your friend, with your founders, with your advisors, with your investors, and saying, listen, we've got to make this strong pivot. Here's how I'm thinking that we can do it, but I'm going to need your help. I'm going to need you to help me stand in this line for a second while I figure this out and decide either I'm going to join the 10 items or less section, or I'm going to go all the way to the other side and check out with my cart full of items and figure out how to get them all into my car. And this also allows us an opportunity to acknowledge when it's really time to make a change. If we can't shake the feeling that sometimes we'd be better off somewhere else, when do we decide that the place we're in today is the place that we're supposed to be? So I know enough now in this journey where I've started to realize that my life would not necessarily be dramatically improved by quitting everything and giving it up for Trader Joe's, though that might be a worthwhile pursuit. Who knows? But I do know that working at my happy place seems like a release and an escape. So I don't always know that I'm getting it right, that I'm choosing the right moves to make, making all the right decisions, even around making the right decisions about stacks. But what I do know is experimenting is part of the game. There's going to be a ton of trial and error. There's going to be a time where you buy that bottle of wine that you thought was going to be fantastic and it was absolute trash. But you just keep going back because you're committed. I don't want to reveal that maybe I'm a little too committed to really great wine. However, the metaphor here, follow the metaphor. The metaphor here is about being committed to the process of learning and to discovering and ensuring that you are rethinking what you thought you knew was true for yourself and allowing it to evolve as you evolve. So I want to thank you for joining me for this episode. I'm off to Trader Joe's.